Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, live from Lagos in Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. President Jonathan confers with the Pope Francis on the promotion of interfaith dialogue in Nigeria and across the world. Ogun PDP urges former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dimeji Bankole, to contest the state's governorship seat. Ayo Fayose emerges candidate of the PDP in the Ekiti State governorship election. Legal practitioner Femi Falana faults National Assembly over a proposed investigation of the botched immigration recruitment across the country. And Russian troops storm a Ukrainian airbase in Crimea amidst shooting and blasts. We'd like to remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website, ChannelsTV.com, and on YouTube.com/ChannelsWeb. To get us on the move, please visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. You can now interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions to share your report, pictures, and videos. And here are some of the latest eyewitness reports we have received. This eyewitness report, which we're going to show you in just a moment, is of an erosion site in Amachala in Awka, the Anambra State capital. He says the erosion has destroyed buildings and other structures, leaving some of the houses deserted by their occupants in fear. And this picture shows a teacher in a public school in Lagos flogging a student with his head under a chair. The eyewitness is asking, what kind of corporal punishment is this? We'd like to thank you for your reports and request that you please keep them coming. In the aftermath of an attack on a federal government college in Yobe State by Boko Haram insurgents, the authorities in neighboring Borno State have ordered the closure of all public and private schools to protect the children. A senior official from the State Ministry of Education, who declined to be named, confirmed that all public and private schools have been directed by the State Ministry of Education to end their second-term academic calendar latest this week. Proprietor of one of the schools, Nuru Luda Integrated School in Maiduguri State Capital, said the school calendar had to be adjusted because of the security situation. Borno has by far been the worst affected by the insurgency since it began 4.5 years ago. Now, victims, well, before we go to that story, the federal government and security agencies have been told to take proactive steps to check the killings and destruction of property taking place in Benue State. Now, this was a key position taken by a group, the Benue Liberation Alliance, which spoke on the matter in Abuja. The group condemned the attitude of the security agencies and the federal government on the issue, which they say it borders on indifference.
Benue Liberation Alliance and Nigerians are scandalized that with all these evidences, there is still no security intervention in any of these places. As we speak, the population of displaced persons is massive. Sadly, no camps have been established for the dislocated persons. We are even more worried at the delayed actions and response of NEMA, the security agencies, and federal government. There are over 1 million displaced, internally displaced people are without food, water, and medical supplies. Hundreds and thousands sleep in open places. Relations and well-meaning Benue people shelter some of them, and others are finding shelter for themselves in primary schools. And these primary schools are not even safe. Our recommendations are that the borders in Nigeria should be closed immediately by the federal government, because the intrusion of mercenaries through the borders from the northeast and some part of northwest have led to the experiences we're having today. We think that the camps and shelters be built for Benue IDPs.
From there to Kaduna State, where victims of last Saturday's attack by gunmen on 3 villages in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State in northwest Nigeria have received relief materials worth millions of naira from the state government through its Emergency Management Agency. The donation is part of the state government's efforts in ensuring that they overcome the trauma of the attack, which left over 100 people dead and many houses destroyed. The State Emergency Management Agency visited the victims, who are currently taking shelter as displaced persons in schools.
It's exactly a week since gunmen numbering over 100 stormed Ungwa Sakwai, Ungwa Kura and Tekum villages in Kaura local government area of Kaduna State, shooting at any living creature and burning down houses. This is not the first time gunmen would be attacking the area. In 2013 alone, about 10 communities were ransacked by the assailants, killing innocent people. The remains of the recent brutal attack, which lasted for several hours, has left behind sad memories and anguish. Majority of the victims who survived are women and children. They've become refugees in their own land, sheltered in a primary school in Bondon. Even pupils of the school have been forced to stay at home as a result of the incident.
We are feeling it so badly because we lost a lot of people, about 53. And then we are feeling that pain. At the same time, we lost a lot of food. We are not getting feeding, not where to sleep, no house, not bed, not mattress, not everything.
Beside my village house, just across Manchok, I have a house. You can find 30, 50 people there. It was not possible for me to ask them to leave that house, come and live in the camp. So even the camp here, we are only operating it as a coordinating center so that to reach the people.
The State Emergency Management Agency is visiting the camp to see to the safety and welfare of displaced persons. Classrooms are already stocked with relief materials, including food and household items such as toiletries and many other provisions sent by the state government.
What we are presenting today are mattresses, blankets, plastics, then foodstuff such as rice, gari, indomie, maize, beans, sugar.
Governor Mukhtar Yero's administration has vowed to fish out the perpetrators of the violence and promised to rebuild all burnt houses as soon as possible for the displaced persons to return to their homes.
Our men are on the spot assessment, assessing the number of houses that were destroyed to see how we can also forward to His Excellency to grant approval to procure building materials in order to rebuild their houses.
The displaced persons are, however, facing other challenges. They have no access to healthcare services, especially for nursing mothers, pregnant women, and the aged. There are fears that communicable diseases may break out if medical personnel are not deployed urgently to help them. In the meantime, the victims of this attack have joined the increasing number of internally displaced people, at least until their homes are rebuilt.
From Kaduna in the northwest to Plateau State in the north-central part of Nigeria, which has witnessed violence by various militia, which has resulted in many people losing their lives and property worth billions of naira destroyed. The residents of Bukuru in Plateau State are accusing the Special Task Force of collaborating with the herdsmen who have allegedly carried out most of the attacks. But the STF commandant is reassuring the residents of their safety. Our next report examines the causes, the impacts, and the efforts of security agencies in the community.
This is what is left of the Bukuru metropolis of Jos, the Plateau State capital, where pockets of attacks have left dozens of people dead in the last 3 months. The first of the attacks this year took place as early as January the 6th, where gunmen stormed Shanong village in Bachit district, killing some 40 people, including women, children, and the aged. The affected communities, which are smaller in size, are Mavo, Shanong, and Ataka communities. They've been attacked more than 3 times this year alone. Several reasons have been given for the incessant attacks, ranging from cattle theft to mere criminality. Other causes remain unjustifiable.
Relationship over a period of time has been bastardized because of either political crisis or economic crisis or sometimes religious crisis, all interwoven. We believe that there would be people behind some of them who are pushing some of these herdsmen.
Recently, residents of Rim and Gero villages were subjected to unimaginable trauma as their communities were invaded by assailants, killing and maiming innocent people while they fell asleep. The attack on Rim village has left the indigents accusing the Special Task Force for allowing the attackers have a field day, killing and burning property in spite of the presence of the military.
We cannot run away from the fact that we are aware of this attack. And the indigents here were aware that these Fulanis were mobilizing. And if some people were aware, the security too were aware.
A sign of hires of the armored car for the military personnel. And you can see that all the houses surrounding this place where the armored car stood yesterday night, all the houses are burned. It's a very serious thing. It gives us a lot of questions. It left us with a lot of questions about the protection of the military.
And making sure that as much as possible, people can sleep with their eyes closed. And of course, the mandate of the mission, which is to restore law and order in the plateau.
To find a lasting solution to the problem, the Plateau State Police Command has put in place a committee comprising divisional police officers and traditional leaders.
We have close to 10 of them so far in our net now, through the mechanism put in place of the Tribal Police Committee. And I believe that when we deepen relationship with them, we should be able to go further to stop all these gamut and dynamics of.
For the perpetrators of the attack, herdsmen from the Fulani community are being blamed owing to the presence of the large numbers of cattle that need green pasture, which is contending seriously with the natives' farmland. National Chairman of Mieti Ala Kautahore, a cultural association of the Fulani, is challenging anyone to produce evidence that Fulani herdsmen have been behind the killings. As accusations and counter-accusations spark amongst the warring communities, government at the national and state levels have been urged to, as a matter of urgency, curb the violence before reprisal attacks lead to a total breakdown of law and order.
Still ahead on the news at 10. Nollywood gets bashing over poor technical quality of its movies. Do join us again.